It's not a coupe, it's not a convertible. So what is it? For most car brands, this would sound like a problem, but for Porsche, it became one of their most iconic designs. This is the story of the Porsche Targa, a car that wasn't supposed to exist, a model that was born out of regulation fears, not passion, and yet, somehow, it became a legend. You might look at a Targa today and think, okay, cool roofline, but why not just buy a convertible? Well, the answer is way more interesting than you'd expect, because the Targa is more than just a Porsche with a funny roof. It's the result of a very specific moment in automotive history, when Porsche had to get creative to survive, and that creativity gave the world something truly unique. Not a coupe, not a cabrio, but something right in between, and maybe even better than both. To understand why the Targa exists, you have to rewind back to the early 1960s. Back then, Porsche was on a roll. The 356 Speedster was already a hit in the United States, and the new 911 was about to change the game entirely. But there was a problem brewing, especially in America. Safety concerns were rising fast. There were serious talks in the US about banning open-top convertibles altogether, especially because of the risks in rollover accidents. Remember, this was the era before airbags, before crumple zones, before modern rollover protection systems. Convertibles were seen by many regulators as dangerous death traps. And here's the catch. The United States wasn't just a market for Porsche, it was the biggest market. Losing the option to sell convertibles there, that could have been devastating for the brand. So Porsche had a tough choice to make: kill the convertible dream or find a way around the problem. Their solution was brilliant. Instead of offering a traditional cabriolet, Porsche designed something entirely new, a car that gave you the wind in your hair experience, but with a fixed, solid roll bar for safety. This wasn't just a compromise, it was a statement. The roll bar wasn't hidden or disguised, it was bold, visible, part of the design language. It told the world, yes, you can have open-top fun, but safely. In 1965, Porsche introduced what they called the Targa version of the 911, named after the famous Targa Florio endurance race in Sicily, where Porsche had seen great success. It wasn't just clever marketing, it was a nod to Porsche's racing roots wrapped into a brand new concept for the street. The very first 911 Targa featured a removable roof panel above the driver and passenger, along with a fixed roll bar across the middle of the car. At the back, you could choose between a fold-down plastic rear window, called the soft window, or a fixed glass window. And just like that, Porsche had created the world's first so-called safety cabriolet. It gave drivers the best of both worlds, the fresh air and freedom of a convertible, with the added sense of security that regulators were demanding. But more importantly, it looked good. It didn't feel like a compromise, it felt like something different, something cool. And while the Americans were debating bans and safety standards, Porsche was already one step ahead, offering a car that was not only safe for us, but also stylish, clever, and unique. The Targa wasn't just born out of necessity, it turned out to be exactly what the market wanted. When Porsche first launched the Targa in 1965, it wasn't clear whether this strange, half-convertible idea would actually catch on. But the truth is, it caught on fast. The Targa became an instant hit, especially in the American market. It offered that perfect balance, open-air driving without the fear factor of a full convertible. It felt adventurous, but also safe. As the years rolled on, Porsche kept refining the concept. The early soft window design with its flexible plastic rear window was soon replaced by a more practical and elegant fixed glass rear window. That move not only improved visibility and durability, but also gave the Targa its signature rear profile, the look we now instantly associate with the name. Throughout the 1970s and 1980s, the Targa remained a key part of the 911 lineup. It didn't outsell the coupe, and it wasn't as free-spirited as the full cabriolet that came later, but it stayed right there in the middle, carving out its own loyal fanbase. Then came the 1990s, and with it, the 993 generation. This is where the Targa concept took a bit of a turn. Instead of the removable roof panel and roll bar, the 993 Targa introduced a full-length glass sliding roof, more like a giant sunroof than a true Targa. Some loved it, some didn't. It was practical, yes, but it moved the Targa away from its roots. That idea continued into the 996th and 997th generations, with variations of the glass roof design. Functionally clever, but missing the iconic look of the original. But then, Porsche listened. With the launch of the 991 Targa in 2014, Porsche brought back the classic Targa shape, complete with a fixed silver roll bar and a fully automatic roof mechanism that folded the top away with the kind of engineering drama only Porsche could deliver. It wasn't just a tribute, it was a comeback. The 991 and later the 992 Targa gave modern Porsche fans exactly what they wanted: the look, the spirit, the experience of the original Targa, but with modern comfort, technology, and convenience. The Targa was back and better than ever. You might be wondering, in a world where we have coupes, convertibles, sunroofs, pano roofs, why does the Targa still exist? The answer is simple. Because it offers something none of the others can. A coupe gives you structure, sleek lines, that hardtop driving feel. A convertible gives you the open-air freedom, but often sacrifices a bit of rigidity and, in some cases, the clean roofline. The Targa, it gives you a perfect blend of both worlds. You get the solid, sporty feel of a coupe, thanks to that fixed rear glass and the strong roll bar. But you also get real open-air driving, without losing that sense of connection to the road. There's also the emotional factor. The Targa roll bar isn't just functional, it's iconic. It's instantly recognizable. It tells people you're driving something special, something with history. It's not the choice for hardcore track days. It's not the choice for posing with the top down on the boulevard. It's for the drivers who appreciate balance, for the people who love design, who understand heritage, who want that little extra flair without shouting about it. The Targa has always been about understated cool, not trying too hard, but still making a statement. That's why the Targa still matters today, because it's not about following trends. It's about standing apart. Now here's where it gets interesting. The Targa started life as a clever workaround for safety regulations, but today it's become one of the most sought-after versions of the 911 lineup, especially among collectors. Early soft-window Targas from the late 1960s? Those are hot property in the classic Porsche world. Prices for well-preserved or restored examples easily reach six figures, with rare models commanding even more. The G-Series Targas from the 70s and 80s have also seen steady appreciation, especially the low-mileage original spec cars. But it's not just about the vintage models. The 991 and 992 Targas, the modern interpretations with the retro roll bar and the automatic folding roof, have their own dedicated fanbase. These aren't the hardcore track day cars like the GT3 or Turbo S, but they're loved for their style, comfort, and that undeniable nod to Porsche history. And here's the thing, the Targa is often produced in smaller numbers compared to the coupe and cabriolet versions. That means rarity. And rarity, combined with emotional appeal, almost always keeps values strong. For enthusiasts, the Targa represents a sweet spot. You get classic Porsche design, a connection to the brand's past, and just enough uniqueness to feel special, without giving up the usability of a modern 911. It's not just a compromise between coupe and cabrio, it's a category of its own. Not every automotive icon is born from racing ambitions or wild design experiments. Sometimes the best ideas come from a smart response to the world around us. The Porsche Targa wasn't created to be the fastest. It wasn't designed to chase records or revolutionize performance. It was built because Porsche saw a challenge and turned it into an opportunity. Faced with rising safety concerns and discussions about potential convertible bans, Porsche didn't back down. They didn't compromise the driving experience. Instead, they engineered a solution that was practical, elegant, and uniquely Porsche. The result was something no one had quite seen before. Not a coupe, not a convertible, but something perfectly in between. The Targa, a design that balanced freedom and safety, a silhouette that became iconic the moment it rolled onto the stage, a car that offered drivers the joy of open-top motoring, without giving up the structure and confidence that Porsche is known for. Over the decades, the Targa evolved. It changed with the times. It embraced new technology, refined its concept, and remained true to what made it special from day one: innovation with a purpose. Today, the Targa stands as proof that thinking differently can lead to something timeless. It's not the loudest Porsche, it's not the most extreme, but it doesn't need to be, because the Targa isn't about chasing attention. It's about getting it right. It's a Porsche through and through, designed with intention, built with passion, and loved by those who understand that sometimes the best place to be is right in the middle. Not a coupe, not a convertible, a Targa. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this story, hit like, subscribe, and let us know in the comments. Would you pick the Targa over the coupe or the cabriolet? Or does the original 911 always win your heart? See you in the next video.